fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Nice fish.
Trout on, baby.
Nice.
We're here. You can probably hear the wind blowing. And we got our cousin Josh with us. And we're trying to make the best of a really, really windy, gnarly day, actually.
Got a real strong wind coming from the south.
Golly.
And that's when it's paddle tail time.
Yep, paddle tail time. Slam Shady. Luke's got the bomber on.
Yep.
I just had a 24-incher, of course. We weren't mic'd up. And we got pictures to prove it, so don't just think, oh yeah, Joe's making up stuff here.
This is a
And that could be
trout.
up there with them, man. These are this is Tampa Bay, guys. We're not here in the lagoon. Just using simple paddle tails. Don't have to have live bait. Don't have to have croakers. Don't have to have pinfish. Don't have to have big mullet. Man, it is just
it's really about
cranking.
just getting these paddle tails and just swimming it right over the grass. And those trout are down there. This one actually, they're pretty lethargic. I actually was messing with the trolling motor, and the paddle tail was just slowly floating down or sinking down to the bottom. And you can see this guy's all dark. Check out how dark he is. He's been just hunkered down there in the grass. You can see it, how dark that thing is. It's been like that nice dark green, hunkered down there in the grass. Paddle tail is barely in there. Paddle tail was just slowly going down, probably right in front of his face, and just couldn't help but to suck it down. Let him go.
It's a nice one. 20 or so, Luke?
Yeah, that was probably a little over 20. Did measure it. And so what I've been using is this. This is the bomber. This thing absolutely launches. So this is the bigger Slam Shady paddle tail. I have a 4-aught owner twist lock, and this is a new weight size. It's a 3/16 ounce weight on the shank, and this puppy absolutely launches. So I have the heaviest bait that casts the farthest, so I'm hoping to catch the most fish. That's the plan. We'll see how it does.
Although Slam Shady 2.0 has caught the biggest so far.
That's true.
And Josh has got one on the board as well. But you had the leprechaun on. That was before you switched up. Yeah.
Yeah, the leprechaun.
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so leprechauns can still work this. That's the split tail jerk bait, but with this wind, it's just really hard to control it. That it just doesn't have any drag on the water, and that wind will just, unless you're casting directly with the wind will just own the line.
So let's talk about that, what we're doing here. Obviously, why we're not facing the cameras because the mics, but we got the wind at our back. We were drifting. I think Luke just put the PowerPole down once he got on that one truck. Normally, if you find one, there'll usually be a couple more around that same pothole. But we just been letting the wind push us along this flat, a couple feet of water. So we all have owner twist lock hooks on, our willow weighted hooks. What do you have, Josh? Does he have a 3/16 or 1/4?
He's got the quarter of the.
Yeah, I got the 1/4 as well.
It's 8 ounce on the 4-aught hook.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The 1/4.
But so it's all
1/8.
about covering ground and just finding those fish. They're not going to be chasing down baits right now. They're going to be hunkered down. So we're just covering every inch of this. Have the power pull down. We're going to fan cast this whole area, and then once we decide if we've covered it all, we'll just go down and do that again, because that's pretty much all we can do. We can't really go side to side. We definitely can't even try to go upwind with this trolling motor. The wind's just too strong. So we just have to use the wind to our advantage.
And part of it too, we just wanted to prove to our cousin Josh, who's also an insider member, more of an offshore live bait guy, that you can still catch really nice fish on really windy days where we would have probably just called it normally. You wouldn't be taking the contender out on this kind of stuff, would you?
Heck no.
Sheesh. You can still catch some nice fish. And we might hit some docks later as well. We did catch bait. We started off saying, it's not going to be too bad, and the wind just kept getting worse and worse. So we threw some blackout chum and, got some, mother load of pinfish, of all things. Snow candy. But now we're just going to fish this flat.
Yeah, because with live bait right now, these fish are spread out. They're not going to be hunkered down. We pulled a couple trout out of potholes, but it was always just one per hole. So those fish, they're not hunkered down. They're spread out, and so artificial lures actually has the advantage in this case, where we can cover more ground. With live bait, you just really can't, you can't move the fish all that much. And so now we've actually already covered probably about maybe a quarter mile or so, half mile. And then and pretty soon we're going to get on the leeward side of this island and get out of this wind, and hopefully there's some fish out there too. But we just want to make sure that we cover this spot good, because as soon as we leave it, we can't get back up here.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and I think we cover this spot good. We'll go ahead and take it up, and we'll just let that wind take us down. Don't even need the trolling motor.
And some other things to note, watch how all three of us, whoa, Luke almost got me there, fishing with the rod tip down. It really, really is tough to try to go up here when it's this windy. I mean, you can see my line just all over the place. It's harder to feel strikes. It's harder to get the good hook set in quickly. Ooh, big pothole coming up. And it just makes your life so much easier when you keep everything down low. What is it? Is it 20 miles an hour wind?
It's
22?
a solid 20, I bet.
Golly.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
So yeah, it's all about just covering ground. Every little pothole, anything different, throw at it.
Oh, I got a feeling I'm going to catch one on this.
Otherwise, just throw as well, because they can be anywhere.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, now that the temperature has been dropping a little bit with this front, so this leeward side might actually have more fish. But we'll see.
We haven't seen a single boat all day, and we saw one over here on the corner when we first pulled up, so I'm hoping we don't collide and have to arm wrestle, although we will win. I've been practicing my arm wrestling.
No doubt.
And they look pretty puny from the visual I got. So we'll probably take them. But that's what you have to do. You come across a flat like this, meet another boat, you got to challenge them. Man, the water's clear over there. The one area with wind protection.
Yep.
Good
Got
news
all
is,
that
man,
wind.
you can with this wind at our back, man, you can launch these little small lures on a weighted hook. It is nuts. I'm just trying not to hook anybody.
Yeah, and so right now we have two options. We can fish the deeper
there's the
stuff.
boat. All right, you guys are gonna get to see the challenge.
Do you have one?
No, the wind got caught on my hook keeper.
So this crew here, yeah, that's exactly where I was wanting to go. They're in the nice wind protected cove. That's probably a smart play. It's exactly where we were heading.
Cody,
They got there first.
They're behind that little mangrove.
They got there first, so we're not going to arm wrestle them. We'll let them be. Let them have their.
They got kids in the boat, so kind of unfair advantage.
Don't embarrass Daddy.
Yeah. Those salt strung guys. It's a bad part about having salt strung all over the side of your boat. You're always on display, and everyone's got an iPhone, as Peter Deeks will tell you. But it also can help you, because we have iPhones as well. So people start doing stuff to us, like it's just going to go all over social media. You guys are trying to be jerks and throwing leads at us and stuff. Because he's had that happen there in Sebastian.
Really?
Oh man, it's made the news multiple times. Where some of those pier fishermen, they don't like the boaters.
Yeah, it's not him in particular. Yeah,
No,
it's
not Deeks.
The boaters versus
But
the
Deeks
pier
is
guys.
there often enough where, he just has a lot more encounters. And some of these guys will purposely just chunk really heavy leads, knock somebody out.
Yeah, so they're hunkered down right there. So I want to make sure that we don't mess up whatever their game plan is. So we'll just kind of see what they're doing. If they're moving around or if they just want to claim that spot, that's cool. We'll just go around them. But if they start moving,
two power poles down.
If they start moving, we'll respect whatever they're doing, because they were technically.
You're talking about the fish
first.
in this boat. We got two power poles down. I think they're staying. Go up to them. Hey, how's it going, guys? Oh yeah, we can definitely take that.
Yeah, but again, these trout, they're just scattered all around, so it doesn't matter really wherever. It's got to keep the lures in the water, and we'll find some. There we are.
Whoa. Had a hit there. Could have been a little pinfish though. Now I'm feeling a bunch of little pops. At least the sun's starting to show. So what did you do earlier this week, Luke? What was I saw you posted some nice fish.
Yeah, it was just the same thing. We just didn't have the wind like right now with this wind, it's really minimizing the spots that we can actually fish. So So we might have to bail and go do some dock fishing. Usually when it's sloppy like this, to do a lot of dock fishing, there's always going to be wind protected shorelines around docks. Here with the more natural stuff, there's not as much, not the homes around here blocking the winds and trees. This is kind of all exposed.
Open water.
Yeah, it's open water. Oh, dang, I just had another one.
Yeah, there's definitely some fish out here in this little grass flat. Boom.
But we might just float off and let these guys have that cove there.
But this is, this is what happens in the water. This is why I think we get so much good feedback about these podcasts. It's not a TV show where they're taking 3 days to film 20 minutes and only showing the highlight reel. This is real world stuff where some days it's just tough, but you still got to keep grinding. Dad always says you can't catch anything if your bait ain't in the water. Yeah, certainly not on the couch, but even on the boat, you might as well be on the couch, sitting there with your bait out of the water. Even while, throwing the net, someone's chumming. If there's another person, always be casting. You just never know. ABCs, right? What movie is that? Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross?
Yep.
Always be closing. ABC. Of course.
Coffee for closing.
What do the losers get? Nothing?
Steak knives?
The new car.
All right, so we might have to bail and go do some dock fishing.
I just got a hit there.
All right, we'll keep doing a little
Yeah,
drifting.
there's some fish out here. It's all part of the grind. Hoagies and grinders.
Yeah, this is where it's crucial to have light line, and you can cast so much further. It's all about just covering water. And I've seen so many people. I did it for many years too, where I would be using like a 20-pound line, and there's no need for that here. 10-pound is more than enough.
And some people going down to 8-pound in a situation like
Yeah,
that.
even
I just don't
goes
have any.
farther. But especially if you have good knots, like the FG knot with 10-pound line and a leader, I've had it go well over 20 pounds in breaking strength, which is, again, way more than you need. Because if you hook into a fish, you can even hook into a tarpon right here, and the closest structure is a couple hundred yards away. Like odds are that's not going to get you around that structure. So you can just play it. It'll take a little bit longer to reel it in, but the extra casting distance you get is significant. Where I did an experiment on a 10-pound braid versus 20-pound braid, all else being equal, and the 10-pound braid was casting an extra 20% further. And I did the math on it, and it equated to every 15 casts, it's an extra football field of extra distance that you can cover. And that's like probably the best possible way you can guarantee you're going to catch more fish, is if you cover more ground. Because that not only is that more fishing zone, but it's actually the best. It's the zone that those fish have no idea you're there, or they at least have the least amount of idea that danger's in the area. And so just going light is a huge deal.
Yep.
Always recommend people at least have one of your setups to have light gear, so you can maximize your odds in this kind of stuff.
At least the sun's starting to peek out a little bit. You see white caps over there in front of us.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so bad here. We're blocked by that wind.
But it will be nice to be in front of some houses.
Yeah, we'll do houses next. That way we'll
that are lifted up a little bit.
We'll be totally protected there.
Trees. Well, so noticing too, nice looking flat. However, I haven't seen a single pothole. So all those trout back there were caught in the potholes. Always notice the little stuff. Got a hit?
Yeah, they're scattered. There's definitely some out
Yeah,
here. I'm
there's
starting to see
definitely
some bait. Some mullet flickering.
But ideally, you find those potholes. And you can find them, satellite maps. What do you call them, salt and pepper? Oh, that was a hit there. A bunch of little small guys swiping at it. Pop, pop, pop. Oh, see it?
That's probably a pinfish.
No, it was a trout. I named them so it's official.
Yeah, there's been a lot of big trout out here, but there's definitely smaller ones too. I actually had one that it was actually throwing up a small trout as I was unhooking it. It was like a probably 8-inch trout that thing sucked down.
Before you guys get any ideas, it is illegal to use baby trout for bait for big trout. But that happened too that one time on camera, remember? Cody, I think you just got the end of it, where I'm reeling up a Mondo trout, like, 20-something inches. And that's huge for Tampa Bay, 24. One of my bigger ones. I'm sorry, I'm reeling in a small little guy, like kind of, and then all of a sudden the big boy hits. Luke's on.
Coming at us. I don't know how big it is. Whatever it is coming.
It's a big brother. I'm going to go. Oh, there we go. Where's it?
I got it again.
Oh.
It hit again. There might be a lot with it. Ooh, it's a solid trout.
It's good brothers and cousins fish right where they miss fish.
So I had one on, one got off. And
you might have upgraded, dude.
I don't know if it's the same one.
Dang, that's a nice one. Get in there, Code.
This guy was not playing around. I need to get pliers ready for this guy. We get under there, Joe?
Yep. Yeah, that's a nice triz out.
Yeah, so it sucked it down. So when you see that, when you can't see your lure, just go ahead and get some pliers ready. This guy sucked it down. I don't know if it's the same one or not, but yeah, I definitely missed. I had one on, missed it, and then immediately had one on again.
Yeah, it's a solid trout.
That's another 20-incher.
All day long. Yeah, buddy.
Solid fish. Let me get this lure out of his mouth, and we'll get him back in the water.
What, 8 or 9 at this point?
Yeah, and I mean, all pretty good size too, which is awesome. Oh, here come the birds. Oh, ooh, one just came and hit me right there. You see that? Yeah. Although that trout might be a little too big for those birds to suck down.
Yeah, they can't get this guy.
It's crazy with what do they call I always mess up the name on film.
Cormorant.
Cormorant. It is amazing. I mean, those things can suck down a 14-inch trout.
Oh, they're good at that. Yeah.
Without even blinking an eye.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking, all right, this is just something that eats pinfish. Man, it'll chomp a big fish down. Mm-hmm. But once you start getting 20 plus, all of a sudden the trout becomes the predator. All right, good job, Luke. Of course, we just did this amazing video on how to safely release trout with a net, and we forgot the net today.
I brought it. I mean,
oh, you do have it. Okay.
Yeah, I have it.
I'm just not using it. I got you.
Yeah, it's because I mean, actually, hands are probably the safest as long as you grab them properly. Hands is the best way to do it, but net's just convenient, way more convenient.
Yeah, we posted it on Instagram. We have one. There's always one negative Nancy. Great tip, but I rarely see you guys doing this. I was like, well, that's because you're used to seeing us catch a bunch of dinks. And you don't need a net for dinks. Use your hands like a man.
Even the smaller ones, I mean, even the big ones too. Like as long as you just, don't grab their gills or anything. What some people do is the hands actually can do the least damage of all with your hands. You get them wet, just standard stuff.
You hear that? I'm gonna just turn my body so you can hear this wind cranking.
This wind is absolutely cranking. I feel like I can just cast a mile though. I feel like I'm the best caster in the world.
I feel like I'm a giant.
They are absolutely launching.
It does make you feel better about your cast.
Yep. Until you try to cast the other way.
Yeah. Let me use my strong hand. Ooh, baby. Yeah, that is a bomb. So what do you think? We'll keep drifting a little bit longer?
Oh, man, it's had another hit.
Man, I think the bomber is the winner here. I think the Slam Shady Bomber could be the most underrated lure in the whole arsenal.
Yeah, especially on shallow flats. And here's what it is. I mean, it's a bigger paddle tail. This thing is just a chunker. You can see it's thick. Got a big tail in there, it's thumping, and this bigger weight keeps it down just enough. We're in about 1.5 feet of water, and this is that 3/16 ounce weight, and it'll get it down just the right depth where I can just swim it. It's going right over those blades of the grass, and that's where those trout are, and they will absolutely come and hit it.
Why do they call it the bomber?
Because it bombs.
Oh yeah. You almost hit that channel marker out there.
I literally just had to hit really out there.
So what, are you doing any stops? Any periodic?
Every once in a while. That's kind of a constant retrieve and then stop it. It seems just like constant retrieve with the paddle tail, they'll hit just a straight retrieve. You don't really do anything fancy. I've been doing the underwater rig, and with that you really can't work the lure at all. And been catching some really nice trout, even 24-inch trout on that thing, and that's just a straight retrieve, nothing fancy.
Starting to get out of that island and back into the
Yep.
Yeah, we're
time to put the windbreakers back on, boys. I already got mine on. Luke, talk about this underwater footage for those that maybe haven't seen it. Really fascinating what we're really just understanding about how trout attack. I think, me included, a lot of us always believe, oh man, I just lost paddle tail because the trout short striked it. I don't know that it's possible based on the footage that we're seeing.
Yeah, the trout 100% do not bite the tails. I've got some slow-mo footage I've got a lot of good footage of trout, like literally tracking down these paddle tails and striking it. And every single one, even on the smaller paddle tail, this is a 5-inch one, even on the 3.5-inch one, those trout, this is their top of their mouth. Every time they actually hit the tail up and out of the way to grab the body. And I think what they're doing it for is to, they're better off to, the easiest way for them to swallow a fish is straight, head first. That way all the fins get pushed down. And so they're literally flipping it while they eat it to go in. And I also think that explains why so many trout will hit a topwater plug out of the water. And it's what they're doing is their bottom of the top of their mouth is hitting the back end of the plug. If it was a soft plastic, it folds over. That hard plug doesn't, and it just shoots it straight out of the water. But that's why soft plastics are so effective with trout, because they'll hit that tail up, it'll just curve over, and then they got it, the whole thing in their mouth. And they will have the entire thing in their mouth, even a smaller trout, even like a 12, 14-inch trout with a 4-inch paddle tail. In under a second, it'll go from totally out of its mouth to totally closed down, clamped down. And they always do about a 30, 45-degree turn. So as soon as you feel that bite, let them have it. That's the perfect time to set the hook.
And if you're listening to this on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever, and you can't see what Luke is saying, whoa, listen to that wind. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's cranking. That's
a better way to understand is if you ever, or just even imagine a 430-pound man trying to eat one slice of pizza in one bite. they're going to like fold that thing up, almost like a piece of gum where you fold it up at the top of your mouth and just inhale it. That's kind of what's happening. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, oh, it's like that 430-pound guy I see the pizza shop all the time.
Interesting analogy there.
Yeah, putting down one piece and,
was not expecting.
And one bite.
Not expecting
He didn't have time for that thing to hit the roof of his mouth. He didn't want the pepperoni up there. It needs to be in the belly. If you are a 430-pound man, you know what I'm talking about. Explain that kind of stuff. Man, I don't know. We might just be able to get to the docks without having to crank up the big engine.
Yeah, we are. We're obviously not using the trolling motor, and we are just cranking down this flat.
It is not.
And
we got a sheet. We could
that other boat's like a mile away that we just passed. Yeah. It is crazy.
But we're still on the flat. There's the possibility of trout being around.
All right, what do you think? A couple more casts, and then we will crank it up and move. But yeah, we wanted to do this one. Oh, there's some potholes up there. Finally, I see some. Here's my chance.
Ooh, nice cast.
Thank you, Luke. We wanted to do this just because this is real life. Whoa, dude, look at that. Got a hit right when I went over that pothole. Make a cast in there. Can you see him, Josh? That whole little area? Little batch of potholes.
So what I'll do is I'm putting the PowerPole down now.
Make sure to fix that.
We're going to be able to cover these potholes.
Yeah, so
little trout, though.
Oh, little trout probably got you there. But yeah, we wanted this because so many times, even like, Josh had to take the day off work, and you can't always control the weather, and you still want to go catch fish, and this is what happens sometimes. You got to make the best out of it. And we're in a big boat. I mean, we're even in the 24 Pathfinder with the Trout. There, right over that pothole. And it's not even fun for us. I mean, you can still get wet in this boat. Of course, Hollywood would say it's impossible to get wet in his Islamorada 24. Driest boat in the Keys. But yeah, if we were like in the little Maverick right now, dude, we'd be getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I would never even.
Wouldn't even do it.
This,
I mean, there's legit. Can you see this coat? I mean, it's white caps out here.
Yeah, these are white caps, and we're still on the leeward side of that island. Like we're not that far from it. But fish are still biting. We've got some respectable trout.
Yep.
So go when you can go.
Yeah, and so one of the easiest ways, you've seen us do it, wind at our backs, letting the wind push you. In this case, you don't even need to have a PowerPole. You don't need to have a trolling motor. It helps, but you don't have to have it.
Yeah, days like this, the wind can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Yeah.
But you have control to decide what it's going to be. So instead of trying to fight the wind, all we can do is just roll with the punches. So we would be totally out of luck if we tried to.
Oh, you just got your tail.
So
look at that.
We're not going to bother. Yep.
Josh just probably got puffered, maybe pinned. Lost the tail of the Slam Shade 2.0, but don't lose hope, my friend.
Think I should keep using it?
Oh yeah, now that's why it's a 2.0. It turns into a jerk shad.
And actually, you can fish potholes better with it. So cast over those potholes and just kind of slow bounce it in there. And if there's something in there, it'll definitely grab it.
I got a little hit too. It popped my my hook out. There's definitely some fish in there. I just don't think they're big. So interesting. All the big boys were up closer to the mangrove line on those potholes. Launch. But couple of cool things on the Insider Club. Every Thursday now we're doing the live coaching where we actually get on a Zoom call, taking advantage of technology, and we do it at 4 o'clock, so kind of end of the day every Thursday. We might think about changing the time up because some people said it's still tough for them to make that, but we're getting hundreds and hundreds of people are joining us, which is really cool, and it's anything goes. We're trying to have a theme every time. I think this one is all about rods, best inshore fishing rods, and we're really going to do a deep dive into power and action and why certain rods are better for certain scenarios in inshore. And it's just so cool doing these live, right? It's a whole lot different than just going out here and doing like a normal YouTube tip. You're getting some real interaction, real questions, and then a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm going fishing this weekend, and in Port Charlotte, or Fort Pierce, or Corpus Christi, Texas, where do you guys think I should fish? And we get to do little spot dissections, which is really fun. Get on a satellite map and talk about where and how we would fish an area, and that's like priceless. Anytime you want to get good at something, Josh is into, not Kung Fu, what is it? Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, it's all kind of the same. And now I'm really offending people who can legitimately really whoop my butt. But yeah, you get a coach. Like anything you want to get good at. Luke's on. If you guys are listening, Luke is just catching fish in our faces.
That's small. It's a lot smaller, but it's a trout.
Still good though. Yeah, you want to get good at anything, you get a coach. You practice.
Yeah.
You get a coach again, and you invest in coaching. And yet, you're in Josh's line. So Josh, you halfway caught that one then.
Little guy.
Nice. But it's always so interesting. It's a nice fish there, Luke.
Ooh.
How fishermen, I don't know if it's because we're just stubborn men or what, but like we don't invest in ourselves when it comes to fishing. Obviously, 21,000 people have by joining the club. But the majority of people seem to just want to like do it the hard way. And me personally, I like shortcuts. Me personally, I love to leapfrog my friends and other people by getting intel and having a network and having some tips. And I use the word shortcuts because that's really it. Just being able to have some extra intel and knowledge to find the feeding zones faster than you would by yourself. And if you're willing to pay 27 cents per day, that was a nice strike. That's all it costs. And come join us, the Insider Club. There we go. Oh man, missed 2. I did that last time on that podcast. I kept missing all these trouts. The bad part about going weedless. Now Josh is trying to hook all of us. There's a little pothole. I'm going to keep fishing this one.
Much as I love braid, when it gets wrapped up, that trout got tangled up in Josh's line and went around a few times.
Oh my gosh, dude, there's a bunch of fish in here. I'm too bad you guys are missing it. The wind is blowing my line so hard I can hardly set this hook. Let me get it back out there. And you see that little pothole?
Yeah.
There's a couple trout right on there. Golly. You see that? The thing just flew about 12 feet past where I wanted it to go. And it's tough. But anyhow, yeah, come join us in the Insider Club. We're now at 21,000 members, and it's really 3 parts. It's this is on the water stuff we do for the public. These are just our podcasts. We're also going out new spots every week. And we got now coaches in Texas, all over Florida and Jacksonville now as well, on the East Coast, West Coast. Oh, got a hit there. And going out and fishing new spots and publishing all that. And it's not about the spots, it's about the trends, about why the spot was good and how to recreate it in your area, regardless if you're in Mississippi or if you're in Alabama or if you're in Louisiana or if you're in Virginia. There we go. I'm on. I know if I talk long enough, I'd catch something on film. I get a little redemption after having that 20 24. Now this is a small guy.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Are you kidding me? It's embarrassing not to catch
embarrassing.
anything, but Slam Shady 2.0. We'll take them.
Big and small catches them all.
Yeah, that's right. A little Dr. Juice sprayed on there. So I like to go right back in there and just skin hook it just enough. And that wind is just nuts. Anyhow, so that's part one of the Insider Club, is the on the water fishing tips, the trends, the coaching, and all the exclusive content that we're putting, the stuff you can't find out there on YouTube, because it's real time. That's the difference. It's real time, on demand, what's working right now. It's not like these fishing magazines, by the time it hits your doorstep, it's 90 to 120 days old. They're just recycling old stuff. This is stuff that's, hey, this is working right now, this week. Like this report, our insiders will know about it as soon as we get back to the dock. We try to tell them exactly what's happening right now. And of course, we'll have our live call as well with our insiders and tell them what is happening right now for this coming weekend. So that's number one. Number two, the discounts. That attracts a lot of people. I mean, I got this Dio Exist as an $800 reel, even though I would probably not buy one again, because it's tough for me to swallow that much. I'd spend a little bit more on the rod than the reel. It is the smoothest reel I've ever used. But man, 20% off, $800. I'm not a math wizard, but I mean, that's a lot of money. 160 bucks, is that right? Jeez,
Too much math.
Told there's gonna be no math here. That pays for your membership plus some. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, dude, that's a nice one. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Hit it again.
Yeah, once you get the hook in them, they don't always hit again.
Dang, dude, that was a nice one. Took out a little drag. All right, so there's still some fish here. Might have been a redfish though.
Yeah, Josh, you can grab this other rod if you want. This thing's ready to go. With this wind,
So this is the real stuff here.
Created the
When braid gets caught up in something and then you get wind,
knot of all wind.
no amount of chapstick is going to fix that.
Yeah, that trout went in there and started thrashing around, twisting, and that line is all gnarled up.
That's brutal. All right, so the discounts said 20% off, and even sometimes more off everything, including all of our exclusive items we have, like Blackout Chum, Power Prawn, and some other things that we're working on coming very soon. And the final piece is the community, which is the network. To me, that part, it's tough to put a price tag on. I could put a price tag on saving 20% on a rod and reel. It's a whole lot tougher to put a price tag on a network.
Yeah.
But man, it is priceless. I mean, there's been many times Luke goes out and catches a tarpon because he saw someone post a report saying, hey, the tarpon are showing up.
Yeah, I caught a nice tarpon on fly rod, and I hadn't even thrown fly in 2 or 3 years. Just because somebody gave a tip on where some tarpon were and what was happening, and sure enough, next day.
Yep. So, and now we got 20,000 members, and people are posting. It's about every 2 minutes. It used to be 5 minutes, and now it's like every 2 minutes there's a new fishing report going up where our members now, because it's private, it's not out there on Facebook, there's no negativity, no belittling, no cursing. Our members are sharing a lot. I mean, it's so cool seeing anglers helping anglers, everyone giving back a little bit, and in return getting some great advice. Hey, where's the bait in this area? Or hey, I'm going on vacation here with my family. What do you guys recommend? It is so cool to see everyone just super helpful and none of the negativity stuff.
Oh man,
Luke
I
just had another sit. No one saying the smart Alex stuff. Oh, hey, what'd you catch it on snook candy? Or where? Oh man, there's some trout out here, aren't there?
Yep. Yeah, we're getting closer to the outside edge.
Yeah, those are the three things that the insider community consists of. But the biggest one, I don't know, they're all pretty big. But to me, the biggest one is this on the water stuff. To me, it's because I learn so much watching you guys every single time, and I know we get feedback on things like this. It's a real deal. This is a crummy day. Here's how to go make the best of it and still catch some trout.
Yeah, just knowing the feeding trends is the most important.
Trends, all about trends.
And it's shocking how it's not a region-specific thing in most cases, right? It's usually seasonal, but these same fish are behaving the same ways, and so once you get that dialed in, that is the biggest game changer. The biggest game changer that I had, I used to be real private with all. I'd go out fishing, everything was secretive, and then just started collaborating with other people. And the more I did that, the better I got, and the faster I got better too. So I can't emphasize enough. Human intelligence is the best possible thing you can put a focus on.
Yep. And that ties right back into the network / community that we built, the online one. So
I mean, going out and just probably, a lot of people say, oh, I've just got to go out and just get on the water more frequently. That's the thing I've heard most often, and that's probably the worst thing you can do. Obviously, it's not bad, but in many cases, you're practicing bad behavior. And so it's like playing golf, right? If you want to get good at golf, you just go out there and
you don't just go hack away and hope you're going to get better.
You don't go to a driving range and start swinging around, because you could actually be getting better at doing the wrong thing, and that's going to actually be harder to fix later. So it's just super important to have that network. We have all the courses that lays down the foundation on the proper mechanics of casting, of finding spots, of positioning yourself, and then with the weekly, and even in many cases daily trends. That's really been the key on why the club has been growing. So
Yep.
if you haven't yet tried it out, I highly recommend just giving it a shot.
Cool. All right, guys, and that's all at saltstrong.com. We appreciate you big time. We're about to hit the edge of the flat. It's getting a little bit deeper now. I don't know, 3.5, 4 feet, which is where we stopped using these.
So we need to switch to jig head.
Yeah, weighted hooks and go to jig head. So we share all that kind of stuff in the club. So hope you join us. Thank you guys so much. And now at least we've proven to Josh you can catch 20+ inch trout on really, really horrible days, even using artificial lures. Slam, shady, baby. We out. Peace. Thanks, guys. Oh, I'm on. I'm on. No lie, Cody. I'm on. Yes. All right. We haven't ended it just yet. It looks to be a decent trout, a little bit bigger, a little redemption. All right. We thought we were over. We get to start the podcast with a fish. We get to end it with a fish. Man, that was way out there. All right, this is embarrassing. It's definitely bigger, but it's still not a big trout. So we'll take it. Guys, we appreciate you. Whoa, we're always on Cody, almost fell over. Oh, that would have been really, really bad and also epic at the same point. We're out of here, guys. Peace.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul, it was